Now it's Des O'Connor Tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, Des O'Connor.
We're expecting someone taller in here tonight. Are we? I think we are, because I had a little stroll before we started through the crowd. I think we're in the right frame of mind, aren't we? Yes! I certainly am, because at last I have made it with the teenage crowds. Let me explain what I mean. There's a magazine here called Smash Hits, right? And I'm in it. It's full of pop stars, and Des is in it. I'm wedged between Meatloaf and Dolly Parton. And in this magazine, a Smash Hits, this issue, this month, it says, well, they're saying in it that Des, you ready for this, is a better singer than Michael Jackson. That's what it's saying in here. Don't take this too seriously. And a few others. Well, it's not actually saying that. But they asked their young readers to vote on the world's top 10 worst singers. I have the list here. Would you like to know what the voting was? Yes. Right. Number one, who do you think was number one? Yes. No, not me. Yeah, I'm glad you weren't voting. Number one was a fella called Glenn Medeiros. Yeah, I don't know him either. He must be very miserable. Not only is he one of the worst singers, he's unknown. Number two was Rick Astley. Number three was Prince. Number four, Morrissey. And we still haven't got to Des yet. Remember, this is the worst singers we're talking about. There's two more you're not going to believe, number five and number six. Michael Jackson and George Michael. And I'm in there, number seven. I wish to thank all the kids out there for making me a cult figure. I think it's because of all the pop stars we're having in this series. In this series alone, you're going to be seeing in the next few weeks, you're going to be seeing Aha, you're going to be seeing Kim Wilde and Bros. Notice I didn't say brothers, I'm hip. And if you're into heavy metal, if you're into heavy metal, next week we've got Claire Rayner in a suit of armor. We've got a great list of artists for you to see tonight. Not the worst, they're the very, very best. Who's watching The Bill these days? Anyone watching The Bill these days? Yes. Three characters are here tonight from The Bill. Great series. We've got the Noel Coward of comedy. Bernard Manning joins us here. That'll be interesting. And I never thought we could top Julio Iglesias. But if that isn't enough for you ladies, Paul Nicholas joins us tonight. And one of the most talented teenagers in the business today, Tiffany, is here. So, there you go. Now, my first guest is a man with a lovely sense of humour. He's got an unusual approach to comedy, and he's one of the regulars, or was one of the regulars on the Rory Bremner series. Will you please welcome John Dowie.
Feels like you've got to have one ugly act on the bill, really. I thought I'd talk about life, things that I like about it, things that I don't. One of the things I don't like about life is the older you get, the more idiots you meet. You notice this? The older you get, the more idiots you meet. When you're 3 or 4 years old, your circle of idiots is fairly small. You know, your mum, your dad, the playgroup leader, that's about it. And then you have to go to school and meet teachers. Now, I used to really dislike teachers. Now I just feel sorry for them because nobody wants to be one, really. I mean, teachers really are people who couldn't get a job doing what they really wanted to do. You know, it's like all English teachers are failed novelists. You know. All art teachers are failed artists. All gym teachers are failed Nazis. You know. I don't like food. My girlfriend, she loves food. I like people who enjoy the food. Every now and then she gains extra weight. Flesh, which is surplus to her basic needs and requirements. And this happens, she will come out with this weird phrase. She will say, I'm too fat. And I always think, too fat for what? Too fat for what? You know, if you can sit on a bus without it tipping up, what's the problem? But no, I'm too fat. So then she starts to eat mad food, diet food, weird stuff, you know, things like energy and crisp rolls, little lumps of air with a crust around them, and cottage cheese. And cottage cheese isn't food. Cottage cheese is just an idea, you know. And then she'll go out jogging, which I think is brave of her. I think it's brave of anyone with a weight problem to go on the street and prove to the rest of the world how much weight they want to lose. Because thin people can run okay. When a thin person runs, their body runs in the same space and time as all the other bits, you know, but when fat people run, I'm sorry, but it's a mess. It's a mess. There's bits bobbing up and down at the front, bits flapping up and down at the side, bits at the back that can't keep up. Wait for it, slow down, wait for it. I mean, there's nothing surely more dispiriting in all the world than putting on a tracksuit and finding that you've filled it. So, thank you. So, my girlfriend, very clever woman, very shrewd woman, she got herself some indoor exercise equipment, a little round trampoline. And she jumps in it for about half an hour a day. Boing, 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 boing. And the windows are shaking. Boing, 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 boing. The doors are banging. Boing, boing, boing. Floorboards bouncing up and down. Boing, boing, boing. Whole house bouncing with her. Boing, boing, boing. And the only practical result of all her work and activity is the people next door think, my God, that bloke's good in bed. Good.
You did a funny piece, really funny piece on one of the Rory shows. I can't remember anything about it other than you were snoring through it, or the tag of it was snoring. I remember laughing.
Yeah, it's based on the reality of the theory that you cannot have a lasting relationship if you live with somebody who snores. You know?
You believe that?
I believe that. I can prove it. I have several broken relationships. But you know, because there's a natural law. A natural law is that people who snore always live with people who don't.
Right?
Right?
People are saying they're not sure.
People who snore usually live with people who don't. Yeah. But people who snore take about 10 seconds to get to sleep.
Yes, they recognise that.
People who don't snore take hours. Hours, and they have to lie there every night listening to that sort of... Oh. And they're like, this noise is really winding me up. And, how am I going to sleep with this noise going? And they always think, I'll tell him gently. It's not shut up, it's always, I'll tell him gently. They go, darling, you're snoring. And they go... And I go, You think, oh, great, a different rhythm now, marvellous. Very... and there's always a moment when all this stuff collects at the back of their throat. and the only way they can get rid of it is to go... You got some of that, yeah? Well, the ones that kill me, the ones that really drive me mad, are the ones after... They always go... and then... And the ones who shout out mad, insane remarks in the middle of the night. Hello, I'm a lobster! But the ones that are really the worst snorers are the ones that die. Yeah, they go...
Well, I don't think anybody snored while you're on, and you're welcome back. John Dowie, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. That's John Dowie.